Hello everyone, this is the Great Pumpkin speaking and welcome to this new PvP video about Dragonfable. So, this time we're going to be continuing our challenge as usual using the same rule set, and this time around I'll actually be showcasing the Cryptic class, which I've actually done by changing my base class back to Rogue. So let's get started. We're starting off against Kaisa, who is a base warrior. So while we were off screen, basically I took the opportunity to make a little maintenance on my character. Among others, I've increased the number of wisdom that I'm using, given that most of the Dragon Coin class requires a lot of mana. I've also been improving my gear somewhat using some of the advice that Shadow Slayer has been giving me in the comments. So now we're gonna have a look at what this class can do. First, we'll start off with Psychic Cage in order to stun her. That worked, which is pretty great. So we'll start off with a rapid attack, which is something of a combo move for them, which is actually realized whenever you deal an attack that actually works. Okay, second turn, we'll pop up Stealth, which will increase our critical quite a bit actually. And that's pretty much it really. This class pretty much work on the idea that you're gonna be using critical and use it to either fuel backstab or otherwise increase your paranoia stat, which you'll see right there. Whenever you actually attack someone, well, your paranoia increase, which also increase the potency of your criticals with this particular class. So yeah, it's an extremely powerful class. Sometimes I kind of wonder whether I actually need to balance it somewhat, but we'll see about that. Okay, that was easy. Let's start this over. I've actually been reviewing my strategy somewhat, namely in regards of when to use my stun and defensive things. I saw that I really kind of blundered my way through the Ancient Exosuit. That was a little annoying. Still, I kind of like the Cryptic. It's actually got all the tools that a defensive class actually needs. Among others, it's got Blind right here. It's got Stealth, which will give it some measure of defense. Illusion as well. You can even steal potions if you need to, so that's actually pretty great. Although it does take some time to ramp up the critical. Still, not a whole lot to be worried about. I haven't mentioned it, but we're up against Iragan, who is actually Frostmoglin. Which is surprising given that he doesn't seem to have equipped those Frostmoglin artifacts, probably because he didn't get access to them during Frostval. Oh well. Seems kind of weird to be using a sight with this particular class. It's kind of meant to be using daggers, but sight works just as well. And there we go. Next one. Starting off against Bob the Squirrel, who is also a Riftwalker. And he's got that pet that actually stuns, so that's not so great for us. And we've also missed our stun, which isn't so good. Oh well, gonna have to salvage that somewhat. There, that should help out some. Let's spot the Stealth. Alright. I kinda want to use my blind on him, but I kinda don't want to waste them all at once. Especially since I've got a backstab waiting for me in the next turn. Still, how long do I got actually? Still got one turn of Stealth, that's actually pretty good. I'm thinking about using my blind actually. Just in case. Good. Okay. Oh, we can still use another backstab. Cool. Well, actually, throw would probably be a better move given that my crit is so high right now, but still. Should do the trick. Whoops. I was actually supposed to use rapid attack there. Still gotta get used to it somewhat. Okay, we're up against Max, who is a base rogue, if I'm not mistaken. Yep. So, he doesn't have that great of a weapon. So, might as well use the same strategy, basically. Gotta admit though, I kinda prefer the male version of that armor. It looks pretty awesome. Still, it matches really well with the... what was this name? The Void something helmet. I've got it in my equipment. Let's actually have a look since I'm wearing it right now. What was it? It was the Void Rift cover, that's right. Okay. Let's put this up. It was actually much easier to actually get all of the weapons and stuff that I actually needed. Given that most of the better weapons seemed to cost Dragon Coin, that actually made things a lot easier. Also getting access to Doom Knight to actually get the Doom and Destiny weapons was really helpful. Although I've been trying to avoid, how can I say, using it as a crutch as it is. Oh, we're up against Mysterious Mage, who is a Necromancer who actually used one of those weapons from Hero Hearts Day. I've actually seen them recently, I've been catching up on these. So, let's go ahead. Kind of the idea of stunning at the start is that actually now stun actually improves cooldown somewhat for those that are affected by it. So the idea basically is to use it early to deal as much damage as possible in order to improve my defense. I'm not sure if it's that great of an idea, but it's not that bad. Seems to be working pretty well actually. Use a rapid attack, and that's the end of him. Didn't have much health anyway. And that was it. There's another streak for us. Okay, next up we're going to be going as a Technomancer, seeing as if we're going to abuse our stun, might as well use a class that's made for it. Oh, we're up against Saviar, who is a Doom Knight, but which version? That's version 1. Okay. So, let's see what we can do about that. Also going to be testing a new trinket with this class, which is the Runestone. It's actually pretty darn good for the most part. Basically what it does is actually bless your enemy with a ton of hits. It does have decent damage. It could potentially help some of the classes that have trouble dealing proper damage. There are also other trinkets that are similar that are also pretty useful, among others the Lime Works, which actually reduce the enemy's chance to hit. So let's use the Sonic Boom Blaster, reduce his immobility somewhat. Okay, now just using that drill, and we should be fine. It also seems to be doing a small dot, which is pretty neat. Okay, so next one. Don't want to use Heaven to Horizon just yet. Might as well use Mana Grenades. Okay, now let's see. Not sure, I'm kind of getting that feeling that I should have popped my shield. Still. It worked. Alright. That might have been a tiny bit reckless on my part, but still, it worked. Okay, that is done. Next one. We're up against Ian the Guardian. And if I recall, it doesn't have a great weapon. Yeah, almost nothing. Oh well. Sorry for you, dude. Actually, while we're at it, we might actually be attempting to create an elemental weakness if there's something we can actually use. Okay, let's see. He's got a low resistance to energy, does he? Great. So, Sonic Boom Blaster. This can be helpful somewhat, although Technomancer isn't that popular of a class, really. Okay, mana grenades. And that'll be the end of that. Sweet. Next one. We're off against Egutar, who is an evolved Dragon Lord. How about that? So him. Actually only need the shield for when he does his shield bash, so it probably doesn't matter what I use. Should probably switch back to the Bacon Sword though. It's actually a good idea. Okay, pop the drill. Use the rapid bites to improve our damage. Got that. Pop Event Horizon. Not so bad. His weapon isn't all that great, but we're actually resisting it pretty well. Pop mana grenades. Not sure about that. Let's put up the shield just in case. Usually he's not supposed to do these things in that particular order. I'm not sure why he is actually restarting his combo. So let's use the Force Sword. And we can probably finish him with the Runestone. Oh yeah, he was gonna do the shield bash there. I hope I can take him down. Or at least my kitty should be able to. Alright. Next. Okay, we're up against Matthew with his hide behind build. That should be interesting somewhat. Okay. Yeah. Thankfully I have good light resist. Cheshire Twilly, another favorite as far as healing goes for pets. Go with Rapid Bites. Throw Event Horizon. Didn't really work. Doesn't really matter though. Okay. Throw grenades. So that's how he's gonna do this, huh? Oh well. Got a good feeling about it that I can take him. Not bad. Was a lot more accurate than I expected. Okay, pop the barrier. Okay, we've avoided the stun. Let's see what we have. Got the Sonic and the Drill that could be sufficient to finish taking him down. I was actually going to use the cooldown in order to actually reset my moves, but it seems like I won't actually need it. The thing about the Rune Blast though is that actually you can only use it once per fight. So it's kind of a gamble, especially if you've got a really good offensive trinket. Still, it seems to work well with certain classes. And that should be it, really. So what to use? Mana Grenade seems like a good idea. And bam! Last one! We're up against Genreal Halfman, who is a warrior. Slim pickings for the Technomancer tonight. Oh well. Gonna have to make do. Up the drill. Okay, great. The mana grenades. Two turns too. Sweet. Of the runestone. Bam! Just like that. Alright. Another streak increase. Okay, so this time we're gonna be going as a Doom Knight, which I understand we've done recently. Although, however, I wanted to show you this artifact that we got back in the last Mugloween, so let's do this. Okay, so we're up against Super Fighter, who is actually a base warrior. Does he have a proper weapon? Doesn't seem like it. So anyway, the point of that artifact is that this is actually the gnarly Guitar of Doom, which you can see here, over there. There are actually 4 versions of it, including one that's level 80 or 85, I forget. So basically what this artifact does actually is just add that jacket to the Doom Knight armor, and that's pretty much it really. It can be obtained by fighting the boss of the latest Mugloween, and then getting 10 Doom Guitar Shard, or actually getting it to drop, which is a lot more difficult. It's obtained from the secret shop, for which they give you a hint during the quest. So yeah, there are a few things I've been using now that I've actually been playing around with the Doom Knight. Namely, what was the point of actually using Favor, because it put you on a 4-turn deadline in order to finish the enemy, and I've actually figured out what it was. You see, is that the cooldown on this actually carries over through fights and is actually pretty darn powerful. So yeah, so it's something of a gamble, if you will, if you keep using it, because you might end up killing yourself, and you also can't use it a number of times throughout the fight. Although it does give you 3 or 4 turns of something powerful, so if you need a crutch to win, well, that's actually pretty darn good. And it shouldn't be too difficult, given the fact that Doom Knight is already powerful enough as it is. Still, I wouldn't rely on it too much. You see that? If, for instance, he put up his shield, well, I would be in big trouble. Still, I've managed to destroy him. So there. That kinda explains why when you actually see other Doom Knights, they keep using it and that doesn't matter, but when you actually use it, well, that can be a little more difficult. Anyhow, so this guy, Alexis Atreides, is a Doom Knight version 1, which is actually makes things a lot easier for us. So, let's deal with this. I actually wonder if I might have been able to pop a ritual before he's done. I probably could. Let's try it. The thing that's dangerous with this is that it actually increases the damage of your opponent against you, so it's actually kind of gamble. So which one was it? Drain Will, which reduces immobility. Pop the spikes for the stun. Doom Knight will also be another class for which I will actually need to, how can I say, use my stun more proactively, given the fact that I can't use barrier since it's technically a heal. So yeah. So now that we've dealt with this guy, we can actually use Inner Darkness and pop our ultimate move, such as it is. It's interesting enough, I suppose. It's actually a fairly cliche rendition of the Darkness Dragon, just as it is. Does he got another turn? Oh yeah, no problem there. Corruption is actually pretty helpful, given that most enemies there are actually humans, if you will, so minus 50 to darkness is actually pretty helpful. I was actually scared of using the Gnarly Doom weapon, given that darkness weapons are actually easily resisted by most people, and also the fact that it's actually fairly low level, given the version that I'm using right now. But then again, 4D was the lowest I could get, which wasn't in the 20s, so gonna have to make do with that. How is his immobility resist? It's higher than it looks. Okay, pop the spikes. Pop corruption. And then go to town on him. And bam. Next one. Mana's getting low, but it's not that bad so far. We're up against Albino this time around, who is a Doom Knight version 1. How about that? It's really helpful to have a move that actually debuffs immobility, makes your stun a whole lot more reliable. Awesome. Just like that. Last one. Okay, we're up against Mide, who is another Doom Knight, version 1 again. Nothing I can do about that, really. Meh. Corruption. Let's see if maybe we can take him down. That actually sounds pretty likely. Then again, he appears to have decent resistance. Green Will. Pop the spikes. And finish him up. Kinda expected more from this one. Meh. Not a big deal, just a little disappointing maybe. Alright, and let's use Blood Right by sacrificing HP to finish him off. Sweet! And that's it. So, that would put us at a streak of 4 if I'm not mistaken, which I usually am. So anyway, I'm afraid that's gonna be it for the time being. Thank you for watching, everyone. If you like what you're seeing, please subscribe, please leave a comment below. And that was the Great Pumpkin. You all have a pleasant time now. Bye bye!